One thing that we could ask the world to do is to help maybe collect more e-waste instead of throwing it into your recycling, instead of just throwing it out somewhere. One laptop going into the ocean, it'll turn into 2, 4, and then it'll just keep doubling and getting even bigger, and then it's going to be a worldwide problem that's going to be too hard to solve.
In 1874, the first bin was actually developed to put waste in. Almost 100 years later, in 1975, the first recycling bin. So now we've gone from 1 resident bin to 2 resident bin, and it was actually called the Tree Saver. But since then, nothing has changed with the actual bins. It's always been 2 bins. The one thing that has changed dramatically is the GDP. So in 1974, the GDP was 1.5 million in the US. As of 2022, it was 1.4 trillion. That's a lot more widgets produced inside the US economy, and nothing has changed around the number of bins on how to properly dispose of those items. TheTwelve is the first nationwide initiative out there that is going and trying to create the 3rd bin. Here at TheTwelve, the vision is to come up with a social platform that is one around awareness, 2, it's around being able to extend the use of a product. A widget that normally in the US might only have the lifespan of 2 or 3 years, like a phone. If you through software can create something which that phone can then get placed into other places just by 1 click, so that phone's lifespan goes from 2 years now to 5 years by going to a different country to 9 years. We have to hit it through the schools to change perception on how we handle widgets and show the importance of how to properly recycle.
Some people, instead of, are thinking nothing of it and throwing it away into landfills and other places where we think it shouldn't belong.
This year, my students have been studying the concepts of impact and sustainability, particularly as it relates to recycling and electronic waste. To be a part of a global campaign raising awareness about this e-waste crisis.
And what we did, we started going into school districts and giving kids boxes so their parents could recycle their drawers full of electronics. 800 kids from 1 elementary school got a box like this right here, and their parents put their phones, cables, cords. Artists go on site, talk about the problem of sustainability. We turned it into art.
Our project is mostly about us collecting as much e-waste as we can and turning it into art.
Empty cubes like this, and the kids build these blocks. The end result is a art piece comprised of 5,000 cubes, which is 5,000 individual students that learn about sustainability. We're also trying to add curriculum to it, it's around critical thinking, and that all revolves around artists. We got very lucky to get nominated for a national documentary. Probably 18 months, we're going to replicate the 1 school and turn that into about 250 schools in the state of South Carolina. The documentary is going to be solely on making South Carolina the most sustainable state and moving the needle in 1 metric around the 12 KPI of ESG. That's why the website is called TheTwelve.world. The funds from this grant would only expedite immediately the ability to buy cubes, pay artists, and go on site to all these schools to the world.
From this little idea right here, we'll change the world.